Hello and welcome everyone, Vioraka here. One of the most interesting specs in the game is possibly the rogue's Shiv-spec. There is a chance you never heard of it, or you heard of it but you don't really know its details. In this video I will try to explain what really Shiv-spec is, what makes it work and why you may or you may not want to play it. First, let's check what Shiv ability is. Shiv is a really powerful and useful ability that is normally designed to give rogues control over their poisons. It is a combo point generating ability that strikes with your offhand, deals your offhand weapon damage and applies the poison on it to target. Typically, rogues use it to make sure that target is slowed with crippling poison in PvP and 5 stacks deadly poison doesn't fall off in PvE. Interesting thing about Shiv ability is that its energy cost is based on the weapon's speed. It is calculated as 20 plus weapon speed times 10. So if you have a 2.6 speed offhand, it is 46 energy, and if you have a 1.3 speed offhand, it is 33 energy to use. Shiv ability naturally deals much less damage than a Sinister Strike as it is an offhand strike, and you typically want to use a fast offhand, which also decreases the damage even further. But Shiv-spec is not about relying on the damage of the ability itself. It has a way more interesting and complicated mechanics. So let's talk about what is the logic and benefits of this spec. First and most important reason behind this talent build is the increased energy and combo point generation. There are 3 factors that makes this possible. A. The base cost of the Shiv. Shiv ability is generally used with a 1.4 speed weapons at the offhand, which ends up only 34 energy, but it still generates 1 combo point just like a Sinister Strike, Backstab or Hemorrhage. B. The talent called Combat Potency. It is a talent that gives Rogue 20% chance to generate 15 energy with offhand attacks. But it isn't limited only to auto attacks, it can be generated from any attack performed by your offhand. So unlike any other ability, this enables Shiv to also proc the talent, increasing the energy generation. Let's simply calculate how that really ends up when we combine these 2 talents. When you use Sinister Strike to build up 5 combo points, you would require 200 energy, which would take about 10 seconds to generate. When using Shiv to generate those combo points, you will need about 170 energy and have 30 energy more to spare relative to using Sinister Strike. But also because Shiv will generate energy with combat potency talents, it will also reward you extra 15 rage in every 5 Shiv on average. You will end up with 45 more energy. More energy you have, more combo points you can generate. But wait, there is more. As you generate more energy and more combo points, naturally you use more finisher abilities, and because of talents like Ruthlessness and Relentless Strikes, which gives you combo points and energy when using the finishers, the more frequent use of those abilities ends up also generating even more energy and combo points on the target. So the bottom line is you end up generating a lot more energy and combo points compared to a typical Sinister Strike spamming combat rogue. Second reason you may want to play Shiv-spec is the different use of poisons. When playing Shiv-spec, unlike any other playstyle, you will be using instant poison at the offhand. This way, every Shiv ability will also apply the instant poison, making up a little for the damage loss compared to Sinister Strike. What you can also do is to have instant poison on your both main hand and offhand weapons, but have an extra offhand weapon in your bag with deadly poison on it, and swap your offhand weapon during the fight to keep 5 stacks of deadly poison on the target. Third reason you may want to consider Shiv-spec is maximizing the potential of items, weapons and enchants with chance on it mechanics. You see, normally with other specs you would rely on the top damage of your main hand, so you would use a slow main hand weapon. But many items with chance on it effects or great secondary stats don't have a slow speed. In this spec, unless you want to go sword spec or have a friend who always provides Wind Fury, your main hand doesn't need to be slow. Even more, sometimes it is even better to have a fast weapon to maximize your poison damage. Essentially, you can use any weapon you like that gives you the best benefits. Perhaps you have a weapon that gives you plus armor penetration like the stagger here. You can use them on your main hand without a problem. Even more, you can use items that drain health from targets when questing and grinding to minimize your downtime. Fourth reason would be simply more energy means more freedom to use abilities like Kick and Blind. And last reason that I can think of, it may provide better DPS against high armor targets when you're undergeared, especially in solo or 5-man content that you don't have all those raid buffs and debuffs. So what about the downsides? Well, first, it is definitely not a typical damage matter topping build. You rely heavily on your poison damage, and even though it may increase your damage output and sustainability in solo play against high armor targets, because poison damage does not really scale with gear or buffs, it will always lag behind. Damage per energy that you get from Sinister Strike with a slow main hand weapon will always be much higher in raids compared to Shiv. And I don't mean like 20 to 30% higher, I mean like 300% higher, especially on crit damage. Geared Rogue with the raid buffs will almost always certainly do much more damage in typical Sinister Strike based combat spec. Other big downside is that Shiv-spec does not work well with your combat tree cooldowns. Blade Flurry does not deal poison damage to nearby targets, and when using Adrenaline Rush with a little bit of bad luck, you may end up generating more energy than you can actually consume. So there we go. Now you know perhaps in a little bit more detail what Shiv-spec is and why some may want to try it. I hope this video helped you out. Feel free to comment below if you have any other interesting specs you plan to play in the Burning Crusade. Thanks for watching and have a nice one.